What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you so much for joining me. I am JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries, and I'm here to give you my review for Housewives of Atlanta Season 16, Episode 8. I can tell you right now, I'm so tired of Portia. Portia is getting on my last good nerve, y'all. But anyway, so we got the aftermath of the dinner where Angela was put had her feet put to the fire for inviting Drew to Portia's birthday celebration and things of that nature. And one thing that I do not appreciate is the fact that it's clear that Angela was, I won't say coerced, but it's clear that Angela was probably led by production to invite Drew to this event for Portia's birthday, because it's like I don't think Angela's really ever been that close to Drew, and so of course they need some type of scapegoat to be the one to invite Drew to Portia's event or Portia's birthday celebration so that we can have some drama here. And so we start out with Cynthia and Angela out in the back enjoying some drinks and things of that nature. And Drew arrives. Drew arrives in this Cadillac Sprinter, and well, not a Sprinter, but in this Cadillac. And she gets there, and she sees Angela, and Angela encourages her to go approach Portia and say, "Hey, girl, let's talk." Like all of this manipulation is crazy to me. It's like we know why they are doing these things, and it makes you not want to watch reality TV because it's also contrived. It's also not natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know that someone is having an issue with another person, you're not going to encourage them to go to that other person who clearly wants no interaction with you whatsoever, don't want to talk to you, don't want to be in your space. Why are you going to tell that person to go talk to that other person that they're having issues with? It just irks my nerves. It really, really irks my nerves. But anyways, so Portia eventually sees Drew, and she's very cordial with her. They give each other a hug and all that good stuff. And so we're going out and having some drinking. We're splitting up into two groups. Three of the girls, I believe it's Kelly, Shamia, and Portia. They're going to Coyote Ugly, and I was able to actually notice that that's what it was when they got there, because I mean, I guess it's. I've never seen the movie Coyote Ugly, but apparently this bar was named after this, or this movie was named after this bar, Coyote Ugly. And so the girls are taking some shots, and then we have Britt, Cynthia, Drew, and Angela. They're going to a whiskey place where they're sampling some whiskey, and so at this whiskey place, Britt is very upset with the girls with the way that the brunch went 2 or 3 episodes ago. And she feels like she wasn't being supported and all this good stuff. And she's upset with Angela for asking her why her license was being suspended, or why she was losing her license and things of that nature. And for me, like the drama to me is just so not real to me, because it makes no sense to me for Britt to be as upset with these girls as she is. I feel as though I'm thinking that she's kind of conjuring up this upsetness and this hurt just for drama's sake. Um, and it's really annoying. It is really annoying. But Angela is being the humble woman that she is. She apologizes, and she said that we both said some things that that were upsetting and mean towards one another. And Drew's like, well, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We were there to support you. That's the reason why we came in the first place. And we were still trying to deal with things ourselves. And so thankfully, although I feel as though Drew really doesn't have any business being on Housewives of Atlanta, she really doesn't have too much of anything going on besides the fact that she's got her music career, and she's got a divorce that she's going through with Ralph. Speaking of that, I will have to say really quickly, I feel as though that there is something in those filings, in that paperwork, and that divorce decree, whatever it is that Drew wants to remain sealed, that she does not want the public to be able to see concerning her. Because if all the bad stuff was only concerning Ralph, she would have no issue with those things being revealed. But she said that she wants to, she wants to keep her kids out of harm's way, and she doesn't want them to be affected by anything that might be found in those in that divorce paperwork. But I think there's something about Drew that we may not know or we may not be privy to that Drew does not want us to see or know about. So there's that. But anyways, Drew is very natural in these types of settings, and so I appreciated that. And then Portia, while she's with Kelly and Shamia at Coyote Ugly, she feels as though Angela was trying to rile everybody up against Drew and felt like Angela was setting up Drew for the okie doke, setting up Drew to be embarrassed. And once again, Portia is probably my least favorite housewife of this particular season, or really of all time, to be honest. I just never cared for Portia to begin with. But for her to try to create that narrative or bring up that narrative, like why would she want to set up Drew to come to a place where I guess it would sort of kind of make sense what Portia was saying. Like, Angela knows that Drew is seems to be public enemy number one, or at least that's the way that Portia sees it. And for Angela to invite Drew to the Lion's Den, and then the conversation that was brought up, it didn't seem like Angela was speaking against Drew. I guess I can understand why Portia would say that Angela was setting Drew up. I guess that does make a little bit of sense because when I initially brought up the subject, I was thinking like, why would Portia think that? But I guess if I was in Portia's shoes, I would make that assumption. I guess I could make that assumption, but anyways, so the ladies come back home. They've got dinner in an hour, and we're getting some drinks. We've got some cowboys in the kitchen that are making our drinks. They're sort of kind of nice looking. Now I mean, the ladies are looking quite nice. And then Portia comes downstairs and she's dressed in all black. It looks like she got some leggings on. Looks like she's about to start working out or something of that nature. She's in a very pissy mood. She clearly does not want to participate in the activities that the ladies will be indulging in later on that night. And so it turns out that she just got a call from someone claiming that Dennis has indeed been filming with Drew. And this whole storyline with Portia being upset about it, but not being upset about it, saying that she doesn't care, but then clearly showing in her emotions and the conversations that she had with Dennis in the car while she still had the hot mic on. Don't be filming with nobody else on this cast. If you're going to be filming, you only film with me. And I understand why Portia would want to make that request. However, when you're on reality TV, to be honest, anything goes. And so if one of these girls want to film with your husband because it helps their storyline, you really have no control over it. Dennis is a grown man. Dennis is not married to you. Dennis is only the father of your child. And so you really can't have that leash around his neck the way that you really want to, because at the end of the day, he can do whatever he wants to do. And if he wants to produce for Drew and that producing involves him filming with Drew, then that's really out of your hands. And, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Drew don't give a damn about Portia. Drew don't care about Portia. Drew is not doing this to try to get under Portia's skin. Drew is trying to get her career on the up and up, her music career on the up and up. But anyways, and so the girls do a little bit of line dancing, or I guess if you can call it that, line dancing. But they have an instructor who's trying to teach them the dance, and then they get to dinner, and then Kelly ask Angela for a little bit of accountability for inviting Drew to the event for Portia, and Angela then brings up the fact that Kelly was asking Portia why she stole that woman's husband, and Angela wants Portia to answer the question, and Portia gives it no energy whatsoever. She does not answer the question whatsoever. Then Drew pipes up and asks Portia how does she feel about the fact that she's out here in Nashville with the rest of the girls, and Portia just kind of brushes it off and says, I'm good. It is what it is. Whatever. And Drew does not take that very well. And Drew decides, well, this is my time to leave. I'm going to go ahead and head out. I can see that I'm not wanted here. I can see that I'm not needed here. What's the point of me being here if you're not going to at least be cordial enough with me to have a conversation with me? And to be honest, I'm not expecting to see this whole conversation happen between Drew and Portia. I'm not going to get my hopes up to feel like we're going to have to come to some type of resolution. And I'm sure by the time that we get to the reunion, there's still going to be issues between Drew and Portia. So there's that. Anyway, so the ladies are getting a little bit, buck wild. Portia, Shabia, Kelly and one of the other girls. I can't remember exactly. It might have been Britt. They are outside. They're, doing a lot of twerking, doing a lot of drinking, having a lot of fun. And Angela decides she's going to go to sleep. But before she goes to sleep, she hears the girls talking about Angela, talking about the way that she dresses. And then apparently Portia said that, Angela better stop before she sleeps with her husband. And then Portia says in the confessional that she doesn't remember anything, alluding to the fact that she was drinking some Henny on that night. And so Angela, got had it recorded. She didn't have what Portia said recorded, but she had a lot of the activities that the ladies were doing recorded, and so we'll see where it goes from here. I can say that I am enjoying this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's just that the pettiness is really getting on my nerves. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. It takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the situations that are going on. Are you tired of this whole Drew and Portia situation that has to do with Dennis and the fact that Portia's mad that Drew is filming with Dennis? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Who is your favorite housewife? Who's your least favorite housewife? Let me know. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Once again, I am JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this video. See you guys on the next one. Peace out.